Hello, welcome to Puffs and Poetry. I'm your host, Jessica, a writer, cannabis aficionado, and poetry lover. Today, we are reading from the book of poems titled What Do We Know by Mary Oliver, published in 2002. Today, I am smoking a joint with a Type 2 blend in it. A Type 2 blend has a combination of cannabinoids, in this case, CBD and THC. This one is a little bit higher on the THC side than my Type 2 blends typically are. I am in Maine right now, one of the oldest recreational markets on the East Coast, and I have absolutely loved getting to explore some of their dispensaries. The THC in my joint today comes from a strain called Chocolope Kush, which I have never heard of before. This strain has only 16% THC, which is low by recreational market standards. Typically, I struggle to find THC percentages under 20. But when I found this at the dispensary, the bud tender promised me it would deliver a creative, cerebral experience, and he was spot on. Although the THC percentage is not very high, this Chocolope Kush has a wonderful terpene profile. It has a great aroma, a great taste, and the terpenes really contribute heavily to the type of experience that you have. It can be challenging to find terpene profiles of cannabis strains in legal markets. Some states like Massachusetts include them, while other states like California and Maine do not. The THC percentage, though an important part of your cannabis experience, is not the only factor that affects your experience. So understanding if there are other cannabinoids like CBD, CBG also plays a role, as well as the terpene profile in your cannabis. In states like Maine that don't have the terpene profile on the packaging, and you are not allowed to smell the product before you buy it, it can be challenging to know if you like the terpene profile of a given strain. In this case, I got lucky because it is fantastic. But enough about my weed. Let's talk about poetry. Today, we are reading from my favorite poet, Mary Oliver. Mary Oliver is an American poet born in the mid-20th century. Her poems are heavily influenced and themed around the natural world. Since I moved into a van 4 months ago, I have made a conscious effort in my life to slow down, to be more present, to enjoy more of the natural world. And whenever I forget that, Mary Oliver's poems bring me right back. Today we are reading from the book titled What Do We Know?, published in 2002. Our first poem today is called Summer Poem. Leaving the house, I went out to see the frog, for example, in her shining green skin, and her eggs like a slippery veil, and her eyes with their golden rims, and the pond with its risen lilies, and its warmed shores dotted with pink flowers, and the long, windless afternoon, and the white heron, like a dropped cloud taking one slow step, then standing a while, then taking another, writing her own soft-footed poem through the still water. There it is. The first time in this video I've ashed on myself. Our second poem today is called The Loon. Not quite 4 a.m. when the rapture of being alive strikes me from sleep, and I rise from the comfortable bed and go to another room where my books are lined up in their neat and colorful rows. How magical they are. I choose one and open it. Soon I have wandered in over the waves of the words to the temple of thought. And then I hear outside, over the actual waves, the small, perfect voice of the loon. He is also awake, and with his heavy head uplifted, he calls out to the fading moon, to the pink flush swelling in the east that soon will become the long, reasonable day. Inside the house, it is still dark, except for the pool of lamplight in which I am sitting. I do not close the book. Neither, for a long while, do I read on. My dog is taking a nap in the grass, in the sun, next to the van, and it is just so precious. Our next poem today is called Blue Iris. Now that I'm free to be myself, who am I? Can't fly, can't run, and see how slowly I walk. Well, I think I can read books. What's that you're doing? The green-headed fly shouts as it buzzes past. I close the book. Well, I can write down words like these, softly. What's that you're doing? Whispers the wind, pausing in a heap just outside the window. Give me a little time, I say, back to its staring silver face. It doesn't happen all of a sudden, you know. Doesn't it? Says the wind, and breaks open, releasing a distillation of blue irises. And my heart panics not to be, as I long to be, the empty, waiting, pure, speechless receptacle. Hi, Diamond. I don't know if she's in the camera frame or not, but my dog is right over here next to me. She is so cute. Now I have to exhale this way. I came over here to not smoke by you, and you followed me anyways. We have one more poem for today. It's called You Are Standing at the Edge of the Woods. You are standing at the edge of the woods at twilight, when something begins to sing like a waterfall pouring down through the leaves. It is the thrush. And you are just sinking down into your thoughts, taking in the sweetness of it, those chords, those pursed twirls. When you hear, out of the same twilight, the wildest red outcry, it pitches itself forward, it flails and scabs all the surrounding space with such authority. You can't tell whether it is crying out on the scarp of victory, with its hooked foot dabbed into some creature that now, with its snapped spine, lies on the earth, or whether it is such a struck body itself, saying goodbye. The thrush is silent then, or perhaps has flown away. The dark grows darker. The moon, in its shining white blouse, rises. And whatever that wild cry was, it will always remain a mystery. You have to go home now and live with, sometimes with the ease of music and sometimes in silence, for the rest of your life. Those are all of the poems that I have for you today. Thank you for spending some time with me and with Mary Oliver. Until next time, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and have a wonderful week.